Hello, my name is Achilles. Any questions?
Achilles, how did you feel when Agamemnon refused Chryses' ransom for his daughter?
I felt as if he was being stubborn and irrational, and that drove me to leave the Greek encampment. In addition, Agamemnon's refusal to return Chryses was already causing casualties among my fellow men in arms. I didn't feel that he was being fair in his decision. He was only thinking of himself instead of what was best for his army, as always.
How about when you discovered the reason your troops were dying?
I was angry at Apollo for sending the plague down, but also on Chryses, who went and complained to Apollo for Agamemnon not accepting the ransom. Then I realized that it all came back to Agamemnon and his stubborn pride. At the time, it only added to my annoyance with Agamemnon.
Do you regret your decision to abandon Agamemnon and the Achaeans after that?
Absolutely not. I feel that my decision was justified by Agamemnon's selfishness. He only thinks of himself, and I did not want to get caught up in that.
What was going through your mind when Athena stopped you from killing Agamemnon?
At first, I was frustrated with her. I was just ready to rid the world of Agamemnon, but then she stopped me. My anger faded when I realized she had my best intentions in mind. She told me that my winnings would be increased 3 times if I stayed my hand. Naturally, I obeyed.
Ooh, Achilles, how did you feel when Agamemnon decided to take Chryses after returning Chryses?
This caused my anger towards him to increase tremendously. He was being childish, as usual. To take Chryses was a low blow, as she was my war prize, and I cared for her dearly.
What drove you to seek help from your mother after the ordeal with Agamemnon?
I was feeling extremely distressed after Agamemnon took Chryses, and I needed help. I knew that my mother could help me. I wanted to get back at Agamemnon for his immature actions. I asked my mother, Thetis, to talk to Zeus and convince him to take sides with the Trojans. I thought that would be the perfect way to get back at Agamemnon, so he would regret losing me.
If you had not left the Greeks, do you think that Patroclus would still be alive?
How dare you ask me that question? Some nerve you have to twist Patroclus' death caused by Hector and try and pin it on me. That offends me to no end. Next question.
How do you feel about Apollo?
Apollo? The god who provided Hector with the opportunity to slay my very best friend. How do you think I feel about him? If he wasn't a god, he would be in deep trouble with me. Watch out, Apollo. Next question.
How confident were you in your ability to defeat Hector?
I was fairly confident in my ability to slay Hector. He was a puny mortal, and I was invulnerable. I am more powerful, stronger, and to be honest, better looking. I had it in the bag.
So how did you feel when you finally defeated Hector?
I felt like I had done right by Patroclus. I'd avenged him as best as I could.
Do you think that Athena's help was necessary to defeat Hector?
Well, I could have taken him on without the assistance, but it was appreciated nonetheless. It certainly shortened the confrontation once she convinced him to stop running like the coward he was. Well, was.
Why did you refuse to return Hector's body to Troy in the first place?
At first, I felt a blind rage toward Hector. I mean, come on, he killed my best friend. I did not believe Hector should be allowed to receive a proper burial, or funeral, or anything of that sort. This feeling was not as strong, however, once his father, Priam, came to me and begged for his son's body back.
What was going through your mind when you and your troops were mailing Hector's body?
To be honest, I was very pleased at the time. Hector was finally receiving the proper treatment for what he did and what I was able to avenge Patroclus' death.
Do you feel any regret about your treatment of Hector's body?
Perhaps a little, I do. Once Priam came to me to receive Hector's body back, I began to feel a small amount of remorse.
What did Priam say to you to convince you to relinquish Hector's body?
Priam got me to think of my own family. I thought about how my father would feel if I were in Hector's place, and this is the reason I began to feel a kind of regret. I did return Hector's body, however, and promised Priam time to give the man a proper burial against my earlier wishes of letting Hector be eaten by dogs and birds. No more questions.